In this video, you will learn about the different tools available to you in EndNote to help you organize your EndNote library. Those are groups, smart groups, from groups, and group sets. To find those, we'll look under the Groups menu in this menu bar up here. The first type we'll look at is a group, this first type up here. A group is a simple manual group of articles that only changes when you change it. So you can select to add or remove articles from a group. I'm going to click to create a group, and you'll see it pops up here, and it allows me to name this group. I'm going to name it Test Group. And this group is now empty. There's nothing in here. So I can decide from my list of all references which articles to add. I'll select these few here. And then all I need to do is drag them over into my test group, drop them in here, and now those 7 articles are in my test group. This is not going to change until I add more or delete articles from this group, and I can create as many groups as I want. This group type has an icon here that is 2 pieces of paper, purple and blue. That may change later on because a group is a type of group that you can share with others. The other types of group cannot be shared, but the regular group type can be shared with other EndNote users. When a group has been shared, this icon will change, and instead of 2 pieces of paper, it will be the outline of 2 people. Back up in our Groups menu, the second type of group is a smart group. I'm going to click on this link here, and this window pops up. When you create a smart group, it is essentially like doing an internal search within your own EndNote library. It works exactly the same as you would if you were searching one of our library databases, so you can use any of the techniques you know for searching, such as Boolean operators, wildcards, truncation, and quotation marks. I'm going to name my test group here with the same name, test group. And then I'm going to define what the search looks like. These drop-down menus defined by the fields in the reference. But I'm going to actually go up from author. Author is the one that defaults here, but I'm going to scroll up to these top 4. These 4 fields are broader searches that allow you to capture more information from the records. Any field will search any field within the record. Any field plus PDF with notes is the broadest search. So that searches any part of the record. So author's name, title, journal, abstract, keywords, for example, anything that comes in from the database. It's also going to search the full text of any attached PDFs. It's also going to search any notes that you've added as you annotated those PDFs. So this really is searching every piece of information that is associated with that particular record. PDF here will search just the full text of the PDF, and PDF notes will search anything you've annotated on the PDF. The rest of these are just defined to a single field. And you can see I can add multiple factors here, so this search can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and make it an any field plus PDF with notes search, and I'm going to search for ethics. A simple 1 keyword search. And I'm going to create this group. It pops up here in my sidebar, and the icon here you may be able to see here is a blue gear icon, and that indicates that this group is always working. This group will continue to update as new items are added to my library, whether or not they match the search terms that I've defined. So if I were to add 10 new articles later today that had the word ethics somewhere in the record or in the PDF, they would be added to this group automatically. So this is a group that updates ongoing rather than on a manual basis. A smart group cannot be shared with other users. If you need to share the information in a smart group, you would need to put it into a regular group first before you can share it. Back up to the Groups menu again, we'll look at the final type of group, and that is a from group. When I open this, you'll see a slightly different menu. A from group is essentially a way of cross-referencing the groups that you've already created to see which records appear in multiple groups, which records maybe appear in one group but not in other. Really, you're just trying to compare the contents of multiple groups that already exist. So I'm going to name this one again, Test Group, and I'm going to define my groups. The first one here, I'm going to say in my test group, that is this first one here. And I'm going to say, and this test group, which is my smart group. You can tell because the icons are different. So I'm comparing the group, smart group, with the smart group here for records that appear in both. The and is what shows as kind of the overlapping part of the Venn diagram of this particular search. My other options are or and not. These are Boolean operators like you would use in the database. So or would show anything that's in this group or anything that's in this group. Not would show things that are in this group but don't appear in this second group. I want to see where these overlap though, so I'm going to choose and then create. Down here you can see 7, which means all of the articles in this first group also appear in the second group. Because these are based on other groups that exist, this is another group that will automatically update as things are added or removed from your library and your groups. You can see the icon here, as I said before, is a Venn diagram because we're showing how these articles in these groups relate to each other, looking for overlap or places where they don't overlap. This again, a from group is not a group type that can be shared. So again, if you wanted to share the contents of this group, you would have to put it into a regular group before you're able to share it with someone else. Back up to the group menu one last time, and we're going to look down here at Create Group Set. You can think of a group set as a folder for your groups. This is just a way to help you organize, especially if you start to create more and more groups as your library gets larger and larger. I have one group set already up here that's called My Groups. That is a default group set, but I can name another one. Let's call this Fall 2020. And this is now a folder for any groups that I think fit into that category. So I could name these Fall 2020. I could name it Thesis Project. I could name it after the topic of the contents. These are your own personal choices to help you make sense of the library that you create for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this one down into this group set and this one. So now these are separated. I can collapse these group sets and just tidy up a little bit. As I mentioned before, you can create as many groups as you want. References can appear in as many groups as you need them to. And really, this is just a way for you to organize and make sense of your own library as you start to build it in EndNote. Hopefully, this is a tool that will help you get the most out of your experience using the EndNote Desktop software.